and today we are going to be doing yet another book haul because, I mean, you came to this channel, I'm sure you were expecting a lot of book hauls because you know me by now. So I'm just delivering. I'm giving the people what they want. So today's book haul is sponsored by Chapters Indigo. It is the bookstore that I work at as well as my favorite bookstore in the entire world, which is not because I work there, even though it's a great company to work for. It was always my favorite bookstore and getting a job there was just a dream come true for me. So I will leave a link down below to Chapters Indigo so you can go and check them out. The site is beautiful right now. It is so Christmassy and festive and it is just amazing. But I have tons of titles to talk about today, so let's just get into the video. Also, this top I got on clearance on American Eagle and it is like, I think the cutest top that I own now. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Like, you can't see, but it's like peplum. That was me showing you it. So the first book that I got is The Last Samsara by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is definitely going to mess up my white balance because it's so shiny, which is beautiful, but bad for video taking purposes. But this book is actually the Indigo Teen Staff Pick of the month for November, which is super exciting. So it has actually been read by my fellow co-workers across the company, across Canada, and they have picked this out of all the arcs that they were given as the staff pick of the month. But this is a new fantasy debut that centers around a girl who is the most feared and powerful dragon slayer in all the land, and that just sounds amazing and right up my alley, so I'm so excited to read it. Next, I picked up Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. You may remember that a couple of months ago, I believe, I picked up The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, which is the first book in her series, The Books of Bayern, and I haven't read that yet, but I picked this one up because it came out as a newly designed cover recently, and I decided to pick it up because I love the cover. I think it's beautiful, and then I just decided to kind of take a chance on it and read it right away, and I really loved it. This is really kind of a diary style story, and there's different like illustrations in here as well because the person who is writing the diary, she also sketches some of the things that she's talking about, and the person who is writing this diary is Dashti, and she is a lady's maid, and she ends up stuck with her lady in a tower for 7 years. So she is chronicling their experiences as they try to survive in this tower with the little resources that they have. I'll talk about this more in my review slash wrap up, but Dashti just had such a powerful voice and it made this book a real pleasure to read. It was a very traditional style fantasy, but I loved it. So after picking that book up, I was kind of more in the mood for those traditional fantasies. I don't even know how to describe it, but I feel like once you see the cover for it, you're just like, that seems like kind of a typical YA fantasy, like medieval feel, that sort of thing. So I ended up picking up Stolen Songbird and The Broken Ones by Danielle L. Jensen. So I originally had picked this one up first because this is the first book in the trilogy. It's called like Malefaction or something. I don't know where it says it. Mal something. Malediction. The Malediction trilogy. But this is a prequel and I really like to read things in chronological order as opposed to publication order. So I'm going to read this one first and then pick this one up. But it was actually kind of funny because right after I had picked it up, I had a customer come into work and she said that she had been reading a lot of the books that I had staff picked because she had read one and she really enjoyed it. So then she came to really trust my staff pick stickers, which I thought was absolutely awesome. But she said that she had just picked up this series and was really liking it. So I was like, perfect. If you like it, apparently we have the same taste, so I will probably like it. But this seems like it's going to be kind of unlike anything else that I've read before. It's about trolls, which I think could be really cool. So basically the trolls in this book live in a mountain, so kind of like an underworld setting. So I can't wait to read this. I feel like it's going to be a very cool high fantasy. Next, I picked up Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse, or Hess, I'm not too sure how you would say that. But this is all about a girl who has been dealing in the black market during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands, and her parents don't know that she's doing that, but it is what is keeping her family afloat. But on one of her deliveries, a client asks her for help, so she agrees thinking it's just going to be something really easy, but she ends up discovering that this person is hiding a Jewish person from the Nazis. I really love World War II historical fiction. I love powerful stories like that are super emotional but really have an impact and are unforgettable, and I'm feeling like that's what this story is going to be. So I haven't really heard too much about it, but my expectations for it are super high and I can't wait to read it this winter. Next up, I picked up some new releases. So first of all, I have two books that I'm very excited for because 'tis the season for Christmas books. So the first book that I picked up is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a retelling of A Christmas Carol, which I think just sounds amazing. So usually around seasons, I will pick up like a ton of books that I want to read around that season but realistically, I'm only going to read a couple of them, so I actually ended up just picking up a couple this time. Way to go, me. Good self-control. Yeah! So I'm very excited to read this. Cynthia Hand is one of the co-authors of My Lady Jane, which I loved, and then she is also the author of the Unearthly trilogy, which was okay, but My Lady Jane I did really, really love, and that is her most recent work, so that makes me very hopeful for this one. Also, look at how glittery that cover is. That is just beautiful. In the back, like, oh my god! But Holly Chase basically went through the whole Scrooge thing. She had the 3 ghosts visiting her, but then she didn't actually end up changing, so this is her becoming one of those ghosts. I think this is going to be really weird, but really cool. I love A Christmas Carol. It is one of my favorite Christmas stories, so I can't wait to read it. And the other Christmas book that I picked up is Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe by Melissa De La Cruz. She is a teen author, but this book was in the fiction section, which I think is kind of funny, but I'm super excited to read it. I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Jane Austen, and all I know about this is that Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe, so I'm assuming that it is a Christmas themed retelling of Pride and Prejudice, so I'm just very excited to read it. And it looks like it'll be super quick. It's an oddly shaped book, but like it's very square, but it is super tiny, so I think it'll be a good, quick Christmas read. Next, I have a couple of new releases. So the first one is Here We Are Now by Jasmine Warga. This is all about a girl who doesn't know who her father is, but she's really obsessed with this band, and she ends up sending a letter to the lead singer of this band, and then she discovers that he is, surprise, surprise, her father. Jasmine Warga is the author of My Heart and Other Black Holes, and I really enjoyed that book when it came out, and I think that this one should be good as well. The premise sounds pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the fallout of that is going to be. Next, I picked up Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This book is a freaking beast. It is actually like so big, but I pre-ordered this book and then I got an ARC of it, but I decided to still keep my pre-order because it is a beautiful finished copy. Like, I was just very excited about it. So this book, from my understanding, is kind of musing on the difference between good and evil and if it is as black and white as it seems, and I love books that kind of are probing at that, but it's set in this world where these peacekeepers have emerged from this fallen society and they might not be as peaceful as they seem. And it deals with 2 characters, one on either side of the thing where they like believe in the renegade people and then they don't believe in the renegade people. I'm very much looking forward to reading this. Marissa Meyer is the author of Heartless, which is one of my favorite Alice in Wonderland retellings, and she's also the author of the Lunar Chronicles, which are also very great retellings. So this is her first book where she's not retelling anything, so I'm excited to see how that goes. And then I have 3 ARCs here that I received from Chapters Indigo. As an employee, I get the opportunity to receive some ARCs that I can give my opinion on. So the first one that I picked up is Tempest of the Slaughter by Tamora Pierce. Tamora Pierce is definitely a very famous author in the YA section, but I've actually never read anything by her. I think a big part of it is that the covers of her books are usually really ugly, and I'm just such a visual person that it takes a lot for me to want to pick up a book that has an ugly cover. I will probably pick up her books very soon, but this one has a beautiful cover, so I was like, I'll give this one a go since I have the opportunity to get an ARC for it, so why not? But one of my coworkers, Tamora Pierce, is her favorite author. She is actually obsessed with her, so I feel like I at least owe it to my coworker to read this. But this is all about a boy who goes to a magical school, so kind of getting Harry Potter vibes there, so I'm excited to see how it is. I believe this actually does have something to do with her other series. I think that it is kind of a companion to them, but set before from my understanding, so that is good because I like reading things in chronological order. But this is coming out in February of 2018, February 6th of 2018. Next, I was sent The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Holly Black is an author who writes a lot about fairies and stuff. She has quite a few books, and the only book that I've read by her, I actually talked about this in a reading vlog and I forgot about this one, but I read The Iron Trial by her and Cassandra Clare, and that was good. I did enjoy that. I didn't continue with the series, but I did enjoy that first book. But this will be my first book that I'm reading that's actually like just by her. So this book is about fairies once again, and I would be lying if I said that my expectations weren't high, knowing that she has such a reputation for writing about fairies all the time, so we'll see how it goes. And the final book that I got is The Traitors Game by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This has such a pretty cover. I love it. It is so shiny. But Jennifer A. Nielsen has quite a few fantasy books that are actually in the middle grade or 9 to 12 section. So she has The Mark of the Thief, and then she also has another one. I don't really remember though. And The False Prince, so it's the Ascendance trilogy. But this is her first book that's actually in the teen section. I really like this letter from the editor, so I want to read the first little bit of it too. Dearest readers, sometimes you come across a book that makes you want to settle cozily into the comfiest armchair with a steaming mug of tea and stay in place till the very last page. Sometimes a book makes you jump out of your chair and shout or jeer or cheer at some epic escapade and keep up this dance till the book is done. Jennifer A. Nielsen's The Traitors Game is the singular novel that will have you doing both. So that definitely has my expectations expectations pretty high. But this seems to be about this game where only one person can win and the other one has to die, so it sounds like it could be very cool. And this is coming out on February 27th, but this and the other books you can pre-order, so I will link them down below. So that is all for today's book haul. Thank you so much to Chapters Indigo for working with me for this video. Definitely make sure to go and check them out. The link is down below, or you can come and see in person and maybe you will find me working there. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday. And you can also follow me on my social media. So my Twitter is @HailesInBookland, and then I also have Instagram, and my Instagram is @HaileyInBookland. But all of that stuff is down below for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!